What's up, guys? It is Corey from Super Comic Guru 9000, and welcome to my review of Bleach, Chapter 539. So let me just go ahead and get this crap out of the way. Did anybody out there care about the Omeda family at all? Did anyone really care about what was going on with them? Because I sure as fuck didn't. And the fact that it was right in the middle of the chapter almost made it seem as if it took place a little too long. But it's just one of the very small parts of the things that were taking place this week in Bleach, and that seems to be a formula that we've been running into, which is they love showing us all of these different events going on within the, Soul Society, what's going on with Ichigo, with the training and everything. So first and foremost, we get Mayuri Kuratsuchi, who is that really creepy-ass scientist that we've seen many, many times in the series, and they're building him up. He's doing something. He's clearly making something or experimenting on something that we can't quite see yet. And this is all just a great way to build that up to see what that is. Maybe it's a way to combat the Quincy. Maybe it's something else entirely. They're leaving it completely in the dark. Right after that, though, that's when we go to this very curious scene where we get to go to Omeda, who is definitely the lieutenant of Soifon. And, he's always been one of the weirdest lieutenants, mainly for the fact that he's just one of the goofiest, most ridiculous characters in the series that most people I know, frankly, just don't care about. And I know that Kubo wants this character to be funny and memorable, but to me, he just comes off as Mr. Satanish from Dragon Ball. I just don't want him around all the time. In fact, I'd really like it if he never said a single word, and frankly, he was just in the background the whole time. So that's sort of my whole feelings on this Omeda thing. But really, all this whole scene is just a transition to show that Soifon is indeed training. Now, the stuff I really wanted to learn came into play a little bit. We got to see that Komamara is still talking to this giant beast dog-like creature, and apparently he does have some sort of connection with him. In the translation I was reading, apparently this giant thing is Komamara's grandfather, and they do have a very deep relationship. And the big dog creature apparently just doesn't trust Komamara entirely. He's telling him that he turned his back on his people, that he wore a hood and mask to cover up his deformities or whatever they may have been. But Komamora pleads his case. He says that he removed those and that the world is in crisis right now and they have to put that stuff aside. There's going to end up being a battle between the two, which I'm sure is going to have a repercussion of possibly Komamora becoming stronger and maybe even getting to learn a little bit more about his backstory. But they even give us a little bit more. At the very end, we get to see that Ichigo has finally returned to the place with Oetsu and he's getting ready to complete his training. And something that I didn't quite expect, but I'm not really too shocked by, is the fact that Ichigo is apparently going to have to say goodbye to his old Zanpakuto Zangetsu, and he's going to be able to get something brand new. I'm not quite sure what this means, if it either means he's literally going to get rid of this sword forever, or if he's simply going to upgrade it, I don't know. But it's pretty obvious that Ichigo is about to get his 50th power-up in the series, and as long as it's interesting and it makes sense and it looks pretty cool, I'm going to be pretty happy, and as long as they explain it pretty well. So this was a pretty jumbled chapter of Bleach, and it was far from perfect. I think the thing that killed it mostly for me was all that stuff that had to do with Omeda and his family. It just, did anyone really care about that? I mean, I just did not care about that when I was reading it. And like I said, I know that Kubo's going for the humor on this one, but frankly, it felt like a sinking ship to me. All the stuff with Komamora, that was the stuff I really, really wanted to learn about, ironically. There's still a ton of other things that we haven't even gotten back to. Does anybody remember the whole Kenpachi training thing? They're showing us a lot of big events, and they're actually still building up this final arc of the series, which, in a way, really hasn't begun yet. So, I'm more interested to learn about Komamora's backstory. I want to know what Ichigo's brand new sword's going to be like. And they definitely threw in that little thing with Mayuri getting to show us that he's planning something as well. So, but for now, this chapter, for me anyway, was just okay at best. I'm going to go ahead and drop a 7 out of 10 on this one. Not the best chapter in the world, if only for that Omeda stuff in the middle. But it was great that we finally got a little more confirmation from the Komamora stuff and getting to learn slowly but surely about Ichigo's brand new training. So, okay stuff. Pretty decent artwork. Pretty good character artwork from Kubo, even though he's trying to be funny when he's not very good at humor. So that's pretty much that. That's the end of this week's chapter. How do you guys feel about it? You can let me know with your comments below. Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. That concludes this review. We'll see you next time, guys. Super Comic Guru 9000, out.